Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you, of course, by the B.B. Calmer Alumni Association. And, Coach, good morning. That Alumni Association does a lot of good things for Calmer athletics, don't they?
They do. They do a lot for us. They help us out. You know, they're always a phone call away from whatever we need. And Mike and Biddy are always supportive and get us whatever we need when we need it. So they do a good job of helping us out, and they're there supporting us pretty much every Friday night as well.
I saw where they presented a check to the band as well not long ago too.
Yeah. They kind of try to help out everybody involved, and the band is a big part of what we do and a big part of the Friday nights and the production that goes on. So they get up there and make a lot of noise and play for us, and our kids feed off of that. So Mr. Seaborn does a great job with those guys, and I think he's got like 70 band members. So he's got 70-something kids. I've got 50-something kids total. So some people ask about, why is your student section so few? Well, most of our students are participating.
Yeah.
You take out the cheerleaders, the band, and the football team, and there's not a whole lot of students. Now the ones that we do have, they're there and they're cheering us on as well. So, but yeah, it's a good group effort of being able to have things go well and work together. So we do a good job communicating with the band and the cheer, and they communicate with us, and we make everything work.
Well, as expected, last Thursday night, senior night at Legion Stadium against the Fayetteville Wolves, and B.B. Calmer with a lopsided win. And again, you get to play a lot of young kids, as did Fayetteville later in the game.
Yeah, we got to play a lot of kids, got to get a lot of kids in, and just give them the opportunity to get reps. And that's, game time reps are so important for the young guys to just garner that experience and to be able to play against somebody else and compete against somebody else. So, you get those practice reps. Practice reps are completely different than game reps. So, and we, you're looking at young kids that the goal is, hey, you want to be able to start on this stage in the next year or two. So, we want them to kind of get a taste for that, and hopefully it encourages them to work harder and get bigger, faster, and stronger in the future, and be ready to play.
You showed some different looks last Thursday night with different looks in the backfield at times.
We did. We kind of let them, for 2 series, we let them call the plays. And we had practiced it and worked on it and things like that. But, it's interesting to see that dynamic, because again, you're talking about a group of older guys that have played together a lot. So you got to see Devin line up at receiver, lined up at running back, Kamor lined up at quarterback, and did some different things. So it was really neat to see that. And those guys could have called their own number and padded their own stats or done something like that, but you saw Kamor hand the ball off. You saw him throw the ball. I think he threw like a 65-yard touchdown.
Arm,
Yeah, he does. So, seeing him, take the snap, he read the defense, found the open receiver, and throws the ball. So, they were able to have a little fun with it. But it's also, those are options that you can look at for different things, because
it does cause future opponents this could happen too.
Yeah, no doubt. And we have, you think about the abilities that we have and everything that we can do. That's something that a defense or a defense coordinator has to prepare for. So you got Rayleon, Devin, and Kamor, who can all take a snap from under center and know what to do as far as with our offense. So you have 3 people there that can do that. You can put Ray in the backfield. You can put Kamor at receiver. You can put Kamor at sniffer. You can put him at tight end if you want to. And those guys have just played so much together that they know. I mean, they know what to do. They know kind of what each other is thinking, and it's a good problem to have for sure.
Yeah, B.B. Comer got started early and didn't let up last Thursday night on senior night, and the final regular season game for those 12 seniors.
Yeah, final regular season game for them, and great way to go out. You know, obviously being able to win, but finishing the season off 10-0 is huge, just for those guys. You know, it's one of those things. As a coach, I don't really process kind of the season until the season's over. So somebody ask about the 10-win season, and it's really awesome for our guys. And I haven't like processed, you know, oh, it hasn't happened since '95. You know, this, that, and the other. But it's something that those seniors get to kind of check off and say, hey, we were able to do this. And I explained to our seniors, like, you guys, man, you guys have won a lot of football games in 4 years, and for you to go 10-0 your last season, that's a huge accomplishment. But you know, also on the same level is, hey, we got to put that accomplishment on the shelf and move ahead.
Well, B.B. Comer with a lot of offense against Fayetteville. Fayetteville coming in to that game, they're one of the lower tier 2A schools, and probably, according to Coach Limbaugh, probably drop to 1A where they can be more competitive next year.
Yeah, I think numbers-wise, they're going to drop to 1A, and I think it'll help them be more competitive based on numbers, and a lot of it's going to depend on region alignment too. So hopefully they're able to get into a decent region, and it will help them out immensely. So
you're off this week, getting ready for the playoffs next week. You got to, the thing paid off well with the off week this week. You got to go last Friday night and see some teams play.
Yeah, I went down to Reeltown last Friday and watched Reeltown and Highland Home play.
Pretty good game, huh?
Definitely a good game. Both teams are very good, play tough, play hard. Reeltown ended up coming out on top of that and won that region. So, you know, if you, as far as the South bracket goes, if you are able to progress through the bracket, you're going to probably see both teams at some point in time. So, and then obviously looking at the bracket, you would get Highland Home or Ayrton, the winner of that game, in round 2. So, but we've got to take care of Washington County first. They're going to be coming up to us next Friday, November 10th, and that's a long ride for them.
It is.
I've had a lot of people ask where Washington County is, and it's literally like right across the border from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I mean, I looked at it trip-wise, and it's 3 hours and 56 minutes. So it's a long ride for them. I'm glad they're coming to us, and we're not having to go to them for sure. But you know, we've got to handle that game before we look ahead to anything else.
So did you give your players off some time this week? Some time off?
Well, we've practiced this week. We'll practice Monday through Thursday this week. They'll be off Friday, and then we'll start back on Monday. But we've scaled back a lot of things, worked on a lot of conditioning things, and shortened practice up a little bit just to kind of get their legs underneath them, and done a lot of stretching, a lot of conditioning things this week, just to stay in football shape. It's amazing how fast you can get out of football shape. So got to stay in football shape, got to kind of stay focused on what's going on. But we haven't just lined up and beat and bang all week and things like that. So work some things out fundamentally and X and O's wise. And be honest, we've had a pretty good week as far as being focused and locked in, and hopefully getting some guys back. I think Alex Cunningham is going to be ready to go, and that's a huge help for us, getting him back. And
it changes the dynamics of that offensive line.
It does. It changes the dynamics of the offensive line, and it's got, you know, I explained to those guys, I said, Alex comes back and he's okay, so somebody's got to come off the field. So it's kind of enhanced the competition a little bit. It's enhanced the effort a little bit too. So competition is a good thing. You know, that generates energy and generates you to work harder. So, but gives us some options to be able to move some guys around. Ethan Price has stepped up and played well for us at center through the games. And then he was playing, we had bumped him from guard to center. Ian Denny and Ethan were kind of rotating in and out. So we got a couple different options there, and we'll look at hopefully the best option and be able to plug those guys in. But for us to be healthy going into round one will be huge.
It amazes me that often you've had an opportunity to play younger kids, and I've just seen some of those younger kids just blossom from nothing to really making an impact on the team.
Yeah, we've had some young guys that have, you can see the progress over the season, and it's last Thursday night, that young group came in and was able to drive down the field and score, and Cam Gaddis did well, kind of leading the brigade with that, and a couple of young guys that we were going to depend on. Tylen Parrish is a young kid. He's a ninth grader that we're going to have to depend on heavily in the future. Jacorian Borden is another one we're going to have to depend on heavily in the future. And, Jacorian's he got a couple starts defensively and has played well in the interior defensive line. We got a couple of big guys, Dylan Davenport and Josh Ruiz, another off season that I think they'll be ready to go for us, and they're big, big stature fellas. So up front, as far as those young guys, we've got some guys that can do it. The weight room will be key moving ahead, but these snaps that you're getting and the opportunity that you're getting to play in games on Friday nights is definitely an experience that will help them progress through their years.
5-game playoff, but you've got to win that first one to have an opportunity to the second one.
Yeah.
And it's, it can all go down the drain with a loss. And so everything's on the table here for this B.B. Comer Tiger football team. They'll be favored against Washington County and should be able to move on to the second round. And every week gets tougher and tougher.
Yeah, every week gets tougher and tougher, and you can't get caught looking ahead in things. You can't get caught in looking at semifinals or third round or whatever the case may be, because anything can happen. It's playoff football. Anything can happen. 1 seeds can beat 4 seeds. We did that. My second year, we go to Fultondale as a 4 seed. And
nobody gave you a chance.
Yeah, nobody gave you a chance. Hey, man, Comer made the playoffs. That's awesome. They're the 4 seed. We'll go watch the game. We'll come back in the second half and win the game. So a 4 can beat a 1. It can happen, and it's happened before, and it'll happen again. It'll happen in the playoffs this year at some point in time in one of the 7 classifications. So we can't skip past that. We got to prepare for them and be ready for them. And as soon as that game's over, we can worry about the next opponent. But it's win or go home. Our guys know that. Our older guys have played a lot of football, and they know what's at stake. And it's one of those things where we stay locked in, we stay healthy, and just do what we're supposed to do and stay together. The sky can be the limit for us.
All right. Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you by B.B. Comer Alumni Association. We'll talk Washington County next week on the Coach Adam Fossett Show, as they're off this week, getting set for the first round of the 2A football playoffs. Coach, let's do it again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
More Daybreak after this.